You reap what you sow. Once upon a time, there was a king in a country who summoned 3 of his ministers and made a strange request. He said to them, "Each of you must take one of these large bags, then go to the palace orchard to harvest the fruits, and make sure to choose the best and the most beautiful, and be careful not to ask for help from anyone else." How did the ministers carry out the king's order? The ministers went to the orchard to carry out the king's order, and signs of astonishment and bewilderment appeared on each of their faces, and each was preoccupied with how to execute the king's order. The first minister carefully picked the finest and most delicious fruits, hoping to win the favor of the king and gain the honor of being close to him. As for the second minister, he was not as interested in the matter as the first minister. He chose fruits randomly without caring about the quality or type of the fruits, so he filled the bag with various fruits, most of which were rotten. All he thought was that the king wouldn't care about the fruits and would never examine them. The condition of the third minister was worse than that of the second minister. He didn't care at all about the king's order and filled the bag with useless herbs and leaves. End of the story. The next day, the king ordered the ministers to bring their bags and come to see him, and upon their arrival, he ordered the guards to imprison each of them for 3 months, preventing them from visiting him and offering them food or drink. For the first minister, everything was easy and trouble-free, because the fruits he had harvested were delicious and fresh and sufficient to satisfy his hunger during his imprisonment. He was never hungry. As for the second minister, he faced some difficulties in managing his affairs because the rotten fruits were of no use to him, and he was unable to eat them, managing his affairs with great difficulty and distress. It was certainly much harder for the third minister. He died of hunger and thirst before the end of the first month because he couldn't find anything to eat. This story reflects the reality we live in. What you sow today, you will reap tomorrow. We must strive to achieve our dreams. Goals and dreams will certainly not be achieved on their own without effort and hard work.